Fury 325 is a massive B&M Giga coaster located at Carowinds, the amusement park that joins both North Carolina and South Carolina. And this massive B&M Giga coaster travels through 2 different states, which is insane, guys. It stands at 325 feet, goes 95 miles per hour, and is by far the best roller coaster that B&M has ever created. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing the full review of this Giga coaster, going through 9 different categories. So let's begin the first category, which is height. And this roller coaster, if you couldn't tell by the name, is 325 feet tall. And that is massive, guys. It's the tallest roller coaster in the world to feature a chain lift hill, or any lift hill for that matter, and I just find that factor insane, guys. It is also the tallest of most traditional Giga coasters, being 15 feet taller than Millennium Force, 19 feet taller than Leviathan, 20 feet taller than Intimidator 305, and 38 feet taller than Orion. And out of all of those Giga coasters, this is by far the best one. And this insane height makes it tower over the entire skyline of Carowinds, and it is just awesome, guys. I am not complaining at all about this height. It doesn't need to be any taller. Wow. I'm going to be giving it 10. Now, speed is another amazing thing on Fury 325, with its maximum speed of 95 miles per hour, and this has the best pacing I've ever seen on any B&M roller coaster. And just a little heads up, guys, all the footage you're seeing is not sped up. Like, I'm not joking, guys. When I went to Carowinds, this thing was hauling like crazy, hauling more than I've ever seen a roller coaster before. And unlike on most roller coasters, you can feel that 95 miles per hour throughout the entire course of the layout. And I just find that amazing, especially for a B&M. So I'm going to be giving another 10. It has a super fast speed and insane pacing. Now let's talk about that outstanding 320-foot drop at 81 degrees. If you're in the back row, guys, even if you're stapled, you're going to be flying out of your seat. I mean, come on. This roller coaster's drop feels like it never ends. Like, it feels like once the drop starts, it never ends. Like, you're just falling forever. You're out of your seat on that entire drop. And in the front row, once the whole train levels with the drop, you are going to come slightly out of your seat. And this is definitely, after getting my first couple of rides, definitely one of my favorite drops I've ever experienced on a roller coaster, period. And definitely the best drop on a B&M. Maybe Orion rivals it, but for now, my favorite. So I'm going to be giving, yet again, another 10. When you put Airtime and B&M together, most would say floater. But on Fury 325, that's a different case. Every Airtime moment on Fury 325 is Ejector Airtime. And most people would not expect that when riding a roller coaster manufactured by B&M. And on this roller coaster, it's not just the airtime hills you get airtime on. You get airtime on the hills, you get airtime on the banks, you get airtime everywhere, guys. And in my opinion, the airtime is actually a little bit stronger up front, at least on the banks. If you're in the back row, you're going to be flying out of your seat on the hills. But if you're in the front row, every time you leave one of the banks, you get airtime. And that is just awesome, guys. And getting airtime out of a bank is just a different sensation than an airtime moment you would find on a Camelback, Bunny Hill, or just any airtime hill. So while most would say that the back row is the row to ride a B&M roller coaster, on Fury 325, just about any row is good for airtime. So for the airtime category, I'm going to be giving a 10. Now let's talk about the overall layout itself. So Fury 325 begins with a bunch of straight track right out of the station into the lift hill. The lift hill is 325 feet tall, which is the peak height of the coaster and the tallest lift hill on the planet. And this is a very fast lift hill. Most B&M lift hills are known to be pretty loud, but Fury's lift hill is pretty quiet actually. And that is actually very nice. It's not as quiet as Orion's lift hill, which is a newer B&M Giga coaster. Obviously not as good as Fury, but this one is definitely fairly quiet. And as you go up the lift hill, there'll be announcers saying, keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times and enjoy Fury 325. And then begins your 320-foot drop at 81 degrees. You're flying down this. Then you go into the overbank turn, the first turn. And right out of that bank, if you're in the front, you will get some good airtime. This is then followed by yet another banked turn into what looks to be a wave turn. I'm just going to be calling these wave turns. And then you go into the treble clef element, which is the only element to enter South Carolina. Then you dive through the lights under the bridge. You go into another banked turn leading up into the first Camelback. This one has a trim brake on it, but if the train is full and it's a hot summer day, you won't notice it. Then comes the Helix, and at the middle of the Helix, there is a head chopper moment with one of the supports. Then you go into yet another Camelback, giving some very fierce ejector if it is hauling. And then yet another Camelback, the final Camelback of the coaster that then leads up into the final brake run. And that is such a good coaster, guys. When you hit that brake run, you're going to be out of breath. You're going to be comprehending how that thing exists and how a roller coaster by B&M can be that intense and that fierce. And most B&Ms like this have just Camelback after Camelback after Camelback, giving very light floater airtime that's hard to notice. But Fury stays low to the ground for most of the layout and then ends the coaster with a bang with 3 Camelbacks that give some of the strongest ejector found on any B&M. So for overall layout, I'm going to be giving another 10. And another thing that's so great about Fury is its smoothness. There is not one single rattle on the coaster, and it is 7 years old, guys. Opening in 2015, this coaster is still glossy smooth. I didn't notice any rough parts of the entire coaster, and I just love that, guys. I really do. And some B&Ms that are like this are pretty rough, but this one is not rough at all. I'm going to be giving another 10. Not only is Fury super smooth, but it also has the outstanding B&M Hyper and Giga Coaster trains, which is a train with the clamshell lap bar and very wide open seats that allow for tons of room to get airtime and overall feel free on the coaster. And on Fury 325, the clamshell restraints are a must, and I'm so glad that it has these restraints, because these restraints have given me some of the best rides I've ever had on this roller coaster, giving me a whole foot of room one time. And currently, these are actually my favorite roller coaster trains and restraints. So I'm going to be giving another 10. Now here's a category that I won't be giving a 10 for, and that is the operations category. During my 3 days at Carowinds, there was only one day that I had there that they were doing good operations. And that's the clip you're watching right now. See, on the other 2 days at Carowinds, there were very slow operations. I did not really notice those trains getting out really fast. They were taking a really long time. In fact, in this clip, there was one GP who was confused what an exit gate was and was standing in the station holding up the entire train from leaving. Luckily, that was assessed, but from what I was there, it was 2-minute operations, 3 minutes, so not terrible, but also not the best. So, for operations, for all the dispatches, I am going to be giving the average 6, not 8, not 9, but not 2 or 3, just average, 6. Now for our final category, and that is theming. And Fury 325 does not have any theming. The theme is a hornet, as you can tell from the sign, from the logo. And there are some... station is named The Hive, and all of the gates in the station do kind of look like a beehive. But other than that, there is absolutely no theming tied into the theme of Fury 325. But I am completely fine with that. I don't think this ride needs theming. It would be pretty cool if it did have more theming. But I'm completely fine with the way it is. So I'm going to be giving a 1 for theming, since it has that tiny little hint of the theme, like the station being called The Hive, and through the logo. And now, the final score of Fury 325, the massive, amazing, fabulous B&M Giga Coaster is, you guessed it guys, a 10. There could be no more perfection put into this coaster. It has everything, ranging from insane pacing, intense elements, and solid airtime moments. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's roller coaster review. A lot more is to come. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like the video if you did. Comment down below on what other roller coasters you would like me to review. And as always guys, stay on the thrill side of life.